welcome from the Oxfordshire Cricket Coaching Association. We're here today at Witney Mills Cricket Club to present a prestigious award for the Coaching Club of the Year in Oxfordshire 2019. I'm really excited to be at Witney Mills Cricket Club today to present Michael Dove with the Oxfordshire Club Coaching Award for 2019. This is a prestigious award and they should be very proud of their achievements during this past calendar year. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'd like to present you with a Serious Cricket voucher for £100.
That's fantastic.
And also Specialist Oxfordshire Cricket Coaching Association bag for your coaching.
That's superb. That's great. Thank you very much, Dan. On behalf of Witney Mills as a club and especially on behalf of Neil Iris and our Head of Youth Cricket, just like to say thank you so much. It's a massive honour and none of this would have really happened if it hadn't been for the work that Neil's been putting in over the last 6 years. He drove this to where we are now, so thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well, we're still here on a nice sunny Sunday morning at Witney Mills Cricket Club. I've got Mike Dove here with me from the club, who's the club captain and also the All-Stars lead coach. Welcome, Michael. Congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Presented to you. So what does this award actually mean to you and Witney Mills Cricket Club?
It genuinely means everything. Of course, we were unaware of this nomination and the ultimate awarding of it, so it means the world to us as a club. There's many cricket clubs around here that put in a huge amount of work and volunteers, their work goes unseen, so we're certainly not the only ones doing this, but we really did embark on a journey 6 years ago, both on the relaunching the youth section and on the senior section as well. Both sides of the club really needed a real boost, and we're on that journey now. Things are happening. We're nowhere near where we want to be. We've got a lot of plans as a club, but to have this recognition is for the youth cricket and the coaching is massive. I mentioned Neil Irison earlier. I mean, as head of youth cricket, the work he put in with initially just 1 or 2 helpers and coaches to what it is now, it's quite hard to quantify the amount of work Neil's put in. Many hours. A lot of his work goes unseen because the kids and parents just see him when he's up here coaching, and it's huge. And of course to all the other coaches who've worked with him all through that time. But of course Neil has headed it up. For me as club captain, it makes me massively proud because you can see all the things that we're achieving, the things we want to achieve. There's always that fear that it may not come to fruition when you sit and have a committee meeting or a team meeting or a subcommittee meeting. We have plans, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're always going to be delivered. So for it to be happening as successfully as it is and to get an award like this it really is massive for the club because we know where we want to get to, and I think to receive something like this, well, it's certainly going to help us get along on our journey, as is the as I mentioned earlier to you. We recently got awarded our club mark status by the ECB as well. I think that was back in August we got given that news. So yeah, things like that, and ultimately this award is what's going to help us get to where we get to, because it's about keeping the club vibrant and keeping youngsters coming in. If you can keep that conveyor belt coming of kids coming through who are going to develop and go through our club system and our pathway, then as long as we're delivering what we're meant to be delivering as a club, you can't really go wrong. It's a lot of work to make sure that happens, but that's our dream and our aim as a club, right from our chairman through to the players and youth coaches. Yeah, it makes us incredibly proud and honoured to be first recipient of this award. We really are very proud, and we love working with the OCB too. I think part of that journey over the last 6 years, we've worked very closely with the OCB generally, individual members like yourself and other guys as well. So yeah, we're incredibly proud and honoured.
It's that recognition, isn't it, that I think clubs go sort of a little bit unnoticed, and as your journey, as you said, from 6 years having no youth section to where you are now is a phenomenal success, and you should be shouting that from the rooftops, not just locally, but perhaps a little bit further afield. So I think it's a tremendous achievement.
Thank you, and it is nice to get that recognition. And again, I mentioned it to you earlier. We as a club, we decided to push another initiative this year, an unofficial initiative, when England had that stunning World Cup victory. One of our coaches, Richard Tilley, he called me and he said, look, we've really got to jump on the bandwagon of this World Cup win. Kids are going to be motivated. And he really drove an initiative for us to keep offering cricket to children in the Witney, West Oxfordshire area right through the rest of the summer, because traditionally youth cricket stops once the summer holidays start. So we launched an initiative called Team Witney 2035. Bit of a pipe dream, but we said, why don't we get a boy or a girl from Witney and West Oxfordshire to represent England in the World Cup, men's or women's, in 2035. Will it happen? Who knows, but why not have a dream and something to work towards? So we did that, and we were having 50, 60 kids up here every Wednesday right through to the middle of September. We only stopped because the nights were drawing in, but the kids were still coming. Football had started by then and everything, but they were still coming along and loving cricket, and that was 6 to 12-year-olds coming up and doing that. So that made us really proud doing that. But to get an award like this just helps us drive that even more, because we just want to keep offering cricket to the children of Witney and West Oxfordshire. Obviously Witney predominantly, because there's other clubs sort of in the West Oxfordshire area, but we've got a big catchment area in the town of Witney, and we want to offer quality cricket and quality coaching and facilities. We spent thousands of pounds in the last few years on our coaching facilities and ground. We got an artificial wicket this summer, which really helps the children develop their cricket, and are able to play if the weather's not great as well. So so all these things help towards what we're trying to achieve. But to get recognition with an award like this, it helps in ways that what we're doing can't always achieve.
I think that's a really good idea, and put it out to the clubs again that something like that Team 2035. Yeah, it may be a pipe dream, but actually it's a really good plan to have in place, and it can inspire those players that you are coaching to have a real goal at the end, not just to perhaps play at the club, but go on to play county youth cricket, and then also further afield if they possibly can, which is very possible now in the women's and girls game as that's changing. So although it may be, as you say, a pipe dream, I think there's a real buzz around the club to try and make that happen, and I think that will be really good for you going forward. Just tell us how you feel the club has moved on in the last 6 years in your youth section.
It's been huge, really, because the club's youth section has got a very proud history of youth cricket at the Mills. Due to lack of coaches many years ago, it unfortunately was closed down. Back in 2013, it was relaunched by Neil Harrison, our head of youth cricket. So he had started from nothing. He had a huge amount of support from you guys, which he's always been incredibly grateful for. And he's built it from nothing in that time. So couple of youth teams. First year, I think just a bit of coaching up at the club, then a couple of youth age groups were entered, and then it's grown from there. This season just finished, we had under 9s, under 11s, under 13s, under 15s, and of course the All-Stars cricket, which had over 60 children taking part every Wednesday, and then the youth age groups probably had over 100 children taking part every week, so it's been huge. The journey Neil and the coaches have gone on to get to where we are now as a club, and we kind of feel like we've only just scratched the surface of what we want to achieve. We've got a lot of big plans in place, and we're going from there. But yeah, it all started with Neil 6 years ago with a lot of support from, like I say, from you guys, and yeah, it's been massive.
I think it's a fantastic achievement, actually, what he started off to where it's come to today. I think it's been absolutely fantastic, and yeah, he should be, patted on the back several times, I should suggest. And do you see this having an impact on your senior squads?
Oh, without a doubt. when you start a youth section from scratch like we had to 6 years ago, it's going to be a longer journey that it will be for clubs who've got an existing youth section, because that pathway from junior cricket to senior cricket will obviously take a few years. So we didn't have kids of the right age to come into senior cricket, or indeed even be ready for it at that stage. So but now we've come through a few years of developing the youngsters. We've started to see it a little bit already. We actually had 2 of our under-15s make their first team debuts, one in 2018 season and one this season. And we've had a number of them play fairly regularly second team cricket as well. But with that being said, as a club, for the first time ever, we've entered a third 11 next year into the Turbo League. That is predominantly going to be for our youngsters who are ready for senior cricket, but certainly not ready to play second team, first team. So we're giving them that pathway. We don't run an under-17s currently at the Mills, so once they've reached the peak of under-15s and we can't offer them junior cricket anymore, we feel like this was the next step for the club. So we've been talking about it for a couple of years. We've finally done that. We've got a guy from the second team who's stepped down to run it, and he's actually a youth coach here, Ross Morgan, who runs our under-15s. So he's going to captain the third 11, and it will be for those youngsters who are coming through, give them that pathway into senior cricket, and then hopefully upwards to our second team and ultimately first team.
I think it's really good, because I've seen in the past when you've got youngsters playing in senior teams how their cricketing journey actually expands. You know, they become more confident. They can really have a massive contribution to your team, and they just improve as players. It's really good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think nothing can beat playing senior cricket when you're coming through. Just the learning experience, playing with senior players, learning from them, listening. That's the only thing that can't be given at junior cricket.
It's facing that wily old bowler, isn't it? Who comes in, puts the ball on the spot. How can they deal with it? And it's good to see how they go about that.
Absolutely agree. And the big jump as well from limited overs junior cricket to being out in the field for 3.5 hours as well. It's a huge learning curve, and so far that they're loving it. The ones who've had that exposure to the senior cricket, so it's been great, and it's working, and we want it to keep working more and more. We'd like to see. We've got an incredibly strong under-11s team at the moment. I think I'm right in saying 3, if not 4 of them play with the county. So that's testament to what's being achieved here at the club and by their coach, Richard Tilley. So we'd like to think in 3, 4, 5 years' time, those youngsters are going to be playing in our first team. And before that, in our thirds, into our seconds. So it's certainly working.
Sounds like there's a really good progression, a real pathway for young players coming into the club to have aspirations to play in the first team.
Absolutely, yeah, as well. And we've also got a lot of girls who are involved within our youth section as well. We've got plans to for girls teams, ladies cricket as well. That's a little bit further down the line. We haven't quite got concrete plans in place, but we're certainly looking at that as well. And we've had a girl play at the club for a number of years. One of the Claridge family. We've got lots of Claridges here, but young Ella Claridge is wicket-keeper batsman, incredibly talented cricketer, and she's actually represented Buckinghamshire ladies main team. So yeah, we very much embrace ladies and girls playing cricket at the club too.
Due to this massive success, have you seen more sort of parent volunteers coming forward to help out on your youth nights?
Yes, yeah, we have, yeah. It's obviously crucial to the youth section growing to have the required amount of coaches to make it grow. So we have seen that within the general youth sections. We've seen a number of players and parents take the coaching qualifications, which has been really good. And I know over this winter we're having some more who've signed up for next season. And within the All-Stars, I believe that 3, if not 4 of the 5 activators we have They're not cricketers. They love cricket. They're big fans of cricket. They may have played when they were younger at school. They don't actively play now, but they've done the activators course, and they're very much involved. So yeah, we've seen a really good rise in general coaches and all-stars activators, which is, again, it's allowing us to deliver this to the children. The more popular we get as a club, the more we grow. Of course, we've got to be able to offer the right amount of coaches and quality coaching as well. Our youth ages, it's a nice mix of players who coach and parents who coach. So I think that's really good for the kids, because they see players who they might come and watch on a Saturday afternoon actually down here in the week, coaching with them. They'll learn from them and hopefully inspired by them as well if they're seeing them play for the first or second 11 on a Saturday. So that's been really, really helpful too. Yeah.
Real impact, hasn't it? Real impact there.
Yeah,
and one thing I was going to just ask there, if you could give advice to another club that are thinking about doing All-Stars cricket in the future, or the new All-Stars Dynamo coming out, what sort of advice could you give, or what do you sort of see that you did as a club that was successful?
I think it's with the All-Stars, because we started doing it from the outset. It was very much a step into the unknown, because it's not cricket as you know it. It's obviously it's very much an entry level for 5 to 8 year olds. They're developing their motor skills and a general awareness of cricket. I think just have a good plan in place, and how you're going to deliver the sessions. I think the first year we did it, it was a little bit trial and error, because I don't think we were quite sure how to deliver something that was so new, because it was a new ECB initiative. I think now with 3-4 years down the line, whatever it is, if we could go back and just tinker how we did it at the start, we would. But it's great, and it's grown year on year. But yeah, I would say have a good plan in place. Make sure the activators are involved every step of the way with planning the sessions, I think, because, like I say, some of them might not be coaches or cricketers, and they'll come along, and they've done the activator course, which is a 3-4 hour course, but they'll come along and they'll be very much led by me or the other people who've driven it previously. And I think if they've got a very good awareness of what they do for their drill on any given week, they've got much more of a buy-in to it. Last year I would come down and set the sessions up, and then the activators would come down and we'd go through the session for the night, because suddenly when you've got a group of maybe 10-15 kids, and if you're not fully aware of what you're going to be doing, that can be chaos when the kids come over. So yeah, we very much championed that for the activators to have a really good awareness of what they're doing and a buy-in, and they've loved it, they've really enjoyed it, they've stayed with it. Some of their kids have moved up to older age groups, and they stayed doing the All-Stars, which is great, because they've really enjoyed it and they know they're giving something back to the club.
Do you think any of those activators will go on to do more coaching, attend more coaching courses going forward?
Yes, and they have. We've had some, a chap this year coached the under-9s, and he did the All-Stars the year before. His lad and daughter play at the club, so they went through the All-Stars and up to the under-9s to do the quick cricket, and he's now gone up to coach them. So yes, it has happened, and I can see it continuing to happen. It always helps when their kids fall in love with cricket and they want to stay within the game. Quite often it's tough for a parent to stay involved if their kid doesn't want to play cricket, but we have had parents who've stayed involved. But yeah, no, I can see that happening, and like I say, it is already.
I know it's really exciting, and I think it sounds like having that plan has really worked for you. And I think that's really good advice for clubs around our county if you're thinking of doing it moving forward. So with all that in mind, what's the future looking like for Witney Mills Cricket Club?
Really good, really good. We're already well into the planning stages for next season. We've got our coaches in place for the junior cricket. We've got new coaches. We're doing the All-Stars again. We're also going to take part in the new ECB initiative, the Dynamos. We don't know a huge amount about that yet. We're meeting with a chap with Ashley from the OCB in mid-January, so we'll learn a lot more about that then. But we're obviously going to embrace that. Generally, the club we're riding a bit of a crest of a wave at the minute with the work we've been putting in and the enthusiasm around the club. The first 11 we got promoted last year, so that has a big knock-on effect to the general feeling throughout the club. Our second 11 had a really good season. They had a lot of injuries, and they got promoted the previous year into Division 7. There's some good clubs in Division 7, so our seconds finished comfortably mid-table in Div 7, with a number of the under-15s playing, and not some of their deemed to be major players available all the time due to injuries. So that had a really good feel-good factor throughout the club. We held a couple of huge events here last summer where we had 400, 500, 600 people up at the club, and a lot of those were families of youth players and prospective youth players as well, and they want to be part of the club. So yeah, the future's looking really good, and we finally, I may have mentioned this earlier, but we've decided to launch a third 11 for next year. That is predominantly for our youth players coming through. So it's another step forward as a club. So we're really excited about that, quite nervous, but we're quite excited about that because it's never been done here at the Mills. So, but the general feeling around the club is great. We've now a bar at the Mills, so it means I think we're running youth cricket up here 4 nights a week. So any night, families can be up here having a drink, whatever it may be, watching kids, and they're staying around afterwards as well. They're coming up to watch the senior teams play on a Saturday, which we think is huge. As players, we like to see that. It's great, and I'd like to think that some lads maybe from the under 11s are watching people in the first team play, and they think, well, that's something to aspire to. And then if they're achieving that, then they can look for further. They might want to play for the county. They may want to go even further than that if they've got the ability to. So yeah, the future's looking really, really good to get the club mark status, this fantastic award, and with the addition of the third team next year, it's really good. We might even be looking at additional youth teams next year. We may be looking at entering 2 under-9s teams next year. The potential of a girls team, the talk, it's not youth cricket, but talk of the ladies side as well. So there's real growth in different areas happening at the club. So yeah, it's very exciting and looking good.
It sounds really exciting, and I sort of pick you up on a point on your plans. Actually, you said, you know, we've been talking about the last 6 years of how the youth has improved and gone, you know, through the roof, if you like. That you had plans for the first team to get promotion, and for your other teams to get promoted, to get a little bit closer together.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, having all those plans and it coming together and actually getting promoted as you have done in those last couple of years has a real impact to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, for your youth going forward, because you're getting that sort of higher standard of cricket to play, and that's something you've been wanting to do for some time.
Yeah, we have. As from the senior point of view, we set out a bit of a mission to recruit younger players, because we couldn't pull from a pool of youth cricket things. We didn't have the youth section, so back in 2013, 2014, we recruited a number of younger players who've gone through a journey with us. We would have liked to have got out of the league we were in a little bit sooner, but it's we kept finishing third. Sick and tired of third place finish, but we've achieved it now. We've got to the first part of our journey where we want to go as a first team. As you said, we wanted to keep the second and first team as close together as we could. Our second team have yo-yoed a bit between 8 and 7, but now we'd like to feel they're established in Division 7. we've recruited players already over the winter for next season, so all being well, we're going to be two stronger squads. We try and keep the first and second working very, very closely together. So if the squads are stronger, then it's only going to bode well. So in an ideal world, yes, we'd both keep going up the leagues and keep fairly close together, and then in time, our third 11 to keep progressing. At the minute, it's not really about that. It's about offering senior cricket to the youngsters and set them sort of loose on their pathway through further up the leagues and through their cricketing career.
I think from a personal note, I lived in Witney for a long time, and I think it's really nice to see a club of this stature to actually get to where you've got to now. I think it's really encouraging. It's really nice to see, actually. I will be honest with that, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't play at the club. So I think you should be really proud of what you've achieved during that period of time, and long may it continue for you.
It really means a lot to hear. That's where we kind of wanted to go. Witney's, it's really lucky to have two teams with such big history. You've got Witney Swifts and ourselves, both incredibly old clubs with huge history. So, but I remember chatting to Megas when he was very instrumental in us getting a couple of the younger players in when I was first team captain then, and when we wanted to have a younger first 11 squad, he was very helpful and very instrumental in getting players to the club for us who were playing OCA cricket. They were ready to take the step up. They played Oxfordshire youth cricket, but they were ready to take the step up with their Saturday senior cricket, and they came to the Mills. They're still with the Mills, and I remember Megas saying at that time that he was involved with OCB coaching. I can't remember which age group he coached, but he always said Witney was always seen as a bit of a black hole because it's such a big town. It's got two big secondary schools. Cricketers should be coming out of this town to go further, and we always feel that we're never going to keep players of serious quality at this club forever. We want to shake their hand when they go to play home counties cricket or even further afield, because we know we're doing our job. And I always remember Megas saying that about this kind of black hole in recruitment from Witney, and it's stayed with me, and we want to kind of write that. And I know that Witney Swifts as well, they do that. They got some very talented cricketers coming through. So for that to come out of one town of Witney is huge, and we want the best cricketers from this town coming to play here because we can offer them very good facilities, a beautiful ground, a clubhouse with a lovely clubhouse with a bar, youth cricket. Whereas a few years we couldn't really do that, and we could offer the beautiful ground, but the whole package wasn't there. So there's no real reason for talented youngsters or senior cricketers to need to go elsewhere. So that's really important for us. So yeah, makes us proud that we can now offer that, and hopefully we won't be that sort of black hole in recruitment for county age group youth sides, because we're contributing to Oxfordshire cricket with the players that have been picked.
I was remembered on the way here to come and do this presentation today that our current national counties coach, Rupert Evans, made his minor counties debut actually at the Witney Mills.
Did he really?
He did.
I wasn't aware of that. That's really cool. That's really cool. I might actually have to speak to Rupert and see if he's got any photos, because that'd be quite nice to have up at the club. Because I don't know how many people in Oxfordshire really know it, because the club's rich history. I mean, the players that have played here over the years, we've had W.G. Grace play here, Sir Jack Hobbs, Frank Tyson, Fred Truman, Basil D'Oliveira, Sir Colin Cowdrey. They've all played on this ground. And that, again, makes me really proud. It makes the guys I've been part of this club for 6 years, but we got guys who have been part of this club for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they're they burst with pride at the history this club's got. So that's a really cool thing, because Rupert is an icon of Oxfordshire cricket. He genuinely is. So to know that he made his minor counties debut here, it's great.
Another thing, I'm reminded that I played a game here for the seniors with a certain Sam Mendes, Bond director.
Yes.
There's another little bit of history.
Absolutely, yes. That's really cool too. Yeah, and we love hosting the few Oxfordshire games that we do here. It's really good. Every time an Oxfordshire side play here, and indeed their opposition, we've received letters, we've had emails, we've had people come to us in the bar afterwards and just say what a lovely place it is to play cricket. The facilities are really good, the wicket's fantastic, and again, it just makes us really proud. And we got an amazing ground staff team up here as well, with so much knowledge. So that's the kind of feedback that's really important for them too, because the hours they put into delivering wickets for the juniors, the seniors, but also representative games. And the ground staff are the ones that go unnoticed a lot, and they don't see the work that's done when it's pouring down or during the week. So yeah, it's nice to hear that kind of thing. It really is.
Well, that just about wraps it up, I think. Michael, thank you very much for your time today. Congratulations again on the award. I think it's well deserved. Wish you all the best for the future.
No, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
Pleasure. Also launching our YouTube channel, which we would like you to subscribe to. We're looking to include interviews, presentations and coaching drills over the next 12 months. If you would like to send any clips or anything you would like us to use, please email us at ocbca@oxoncb.com. That's ocbca@oxoncb.com. And thank you very much.